Hello, Taurus. I'm Selena Hart. And if you're hearing this today, it's because something inside you has gone quiet. Not because you're lost, but because your soul is asking for stillness. You're entering a moment of deep pause. Not to retreat, but to return to yourself. This isn't about giving up. It's about tuning back in. After so many days of pushing forward, carrying weight without complaint, and trying to make sense of others' silence. Life is asking you to stop trying to fix everything and just feel. Right now, there's a tension inside you that even you can't brush aside. You're standing between two emotional truths, and both carry a part of your story. One path leads back to something familiar, a connection that once felt like home, but also holds the memory of disappointment, silence, and unspoken pain. You've tried to make it work, held on longer than you should, and yet something still feels unresolved. The other path, it's unfamiliar, maybe even a little intimidating, but it brings newness, a connection that feels emotionally available, gently challenging, and quietly honest, in a way that your spirit hasn't felt in a long time. This choice isn't just about love or people, it's about identity. You're deciding who you are when you stop living through someone else's expectations. When you stop trying to be what they needed and start being who you are. Taurus, your heart is not a prize someone wins when they finally get it right. It's something sacred. And right now, you're learning to hold it like that. You might notice you're quiet lately, a little less reactive. People may mistake that for indifference. But it's not. It's focus. It's you realizing that peace is more important than being understood. That healing isn't about fixing what broke. It's about choosing what makes you whole now. And that's the wisdom this season is bringing you. You're not being asked to rush this decision. You're being asked to feel through it. To notice where your body softens and where it tenses. To notice who brings clarity to your life and who keeps you guessing. Because that's what matters now, not the past. Not the what-ifs, but who you become when you stop abandoning your own truth for the sake of keeping things familiar. This moment is quiet, but it's powerful. And Taurus, deep down, you know what's right, even if part of you is scared to say it out loud. So take your time, be honest with yourself, and remember, your heart is not something people get to borrow while they figure themselves out. It's a home, and only those who treat it with care should be allowed in. You're not stuck. You're awakening. And everything love, clarity, healing begins from here. Somewhere along this path, Taurus, signs will appear quietly, precisely, just the way you like them. Your relationship with money isn't driven by adrenaline or risk. You don't crave sudden spikes. You crave sustainability, grounding, and the sense that what you're building will last. And this week, the universe begins to echo that back. This is a time when practical steps yield emotional comfort. A good decision now, whether it's a well-negotiated contract, a purchase that adds ease to your daily routine, or a conversation that clarifies your worth, can ripple into long-term gain. You've never needed excess to feel rich. You just need peace and space to breathe. That, Taurus, is real abundance. And while we're here, watch out for these numbers. They may guide you when you least expect it. 4. And while we're here, watch out for these numbers. They may guide you when you least expect it. 4, 12, 26, 39, 48, and 66. These aren't just digits. They're reminders of steady progress, of solid foundations, of the kind of luck that unfolds slowly but holds its shape. Keep your eyes open. Life is whispering. And this time, it's speaking your language. And as the energy around your finances finds its rhythm, Taurus, the landscape of your work life begins to shift in tandem. But unlike sudden waves or chaotic bursts, this movement is steady, grounded, exactly the way you operate best. You've been patient long enough, putting in the effort where no one else was looking. doing the hard, slow work that others often rush through. And now, the momentum you've been waiting for is quietly picking up speed. Projects that once felt like dead ends may suddenly present new openings. Conversations that stalled weeks or even months ago begin to circle back. Maybe someone who doubted your input now seeks your advice. Or maybe the idea you almost gave up on is finally gaining traction. Whatever form it takes, the message is the same. Your efforts weren't wasted. They were simply preparing the ground for something that needed more time to mature. Still, this is not the time to stretch yourself too thin. Yes, opportunities are calling. And yes, you're capable of managing more than most. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. Clear communication will be your greatest tool now, not just with others, but with yourself. Make sure you're speaking your needs just as directly as you're meeting expectations. Don't assume others know how much you're carrying. Say it. Delegate when needed. And trust that collaboration doesn't dilute your value, it amplifies it. This week's energy asks you to find a rhythm between drive and recovery. The Four of Swords still lingers in your field for a reason. Even when things get busy, you must protect your energy like it's part of your job, because it is. True progress won't come from exhaustion. It'll come from focus, clarity, and knowing when to pause before pushing forward again. You may also find yourself drawn toward leadership or mentorship roles, not because you're chasing a title, but because others naturally recognize the stability you bring. Don't shy away from it. You don't have to know everything to be a guide. You only need to be honest, consistent, and open all things that already come naturally to you. Let this be the season where you work not harder, but wiser, where your calendar isn't just filled, but aligned, where your actions aren't reactive, but intentional. You are not just climbing a ladder, you're shaping the structure itself. And Taurus, when you build from a place of integrity, what you create doesn't just last, it thrives. And while your work life begins to gather speed, Taurus, your body is sending a quieter message, one that's just as important, if not more, because what good is success if your body is too tired to hold it? What good is opportunity if your mind is too foggy to see it clearly? Right now, your physical and emotional health aren't just background concerns. They are the foundation beneath everything you're trying to build. Sleep isn't just rest. It's repair. And your body has likely been whispering or maybe shouting that it's time to slow down and restore. You may have pushed through fatigue for weeks, convincing yourself it was temporary, manageable, or something you'd handle later. But later is now. The pace ahead will demand more of you, Taurus, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So this week, commit to real rest, not just collapsing into bed out of exhaustion, but creating true rituals of recovery, winding down, putting the phone away, stretching, breathing, journaling, or just allowing silence to hold you for a while. Gentle movement walks under the trees, slow stretching, yoga, or meditation will bring you back into alignment. Not because it burns calories, but because it rebuilds presence. You don't need to train harder. You need to feel more connected. And part of that connection also means checking in emotionally. Ask yourself, where am I holding tension that isn't mine? What am I carrying emotionally that I haven't named yet? Your healing isn't in productivity, it's in permission. Permission to feel, to stop, to not be on all the time. And within that same emotional landscape, something is quietly shifting in your personal relationships. Family ties, friendships, old connections, they're coming back into focus. Not to distract you, but to offer healing. There may be a conversation this week that softens something sharp. Maybe a call from someone you haven't heard from in a while, or a moment of quiet reconciliation where no one apologizes directly, but the energy between you shifts. Taurus, you've grown. You see things now with more maturity. And that's allowing you to hold space for others, not by fixing them, but by simply being honest and open. Not every relationship will be restored, but those that still matter have a chance to breathe again. That's the gift of this moment. Emotional clarity. You're learning that love doesn't have to be dramatic to be real, and support doesn't have to be loud to be meaningful. So let your home, whether physical or emotional, become a place of warmth, rest, and realness. Allow your nervous system to unwind. Allow your heart to soften without losing its boundaries. And allow those around you to meet you as you are now, not who you used to be. Because Taurus, you are shifting, quietly, powerfully, and the more you protect your peace, the more life will expand around it. So here we are, Taurus at the edge of something new. Something quieter but no less powerful. And if you've been wondering why everything feels so inward lately, why the world seems to be asking more from you, just as you're craving stillness, it's because you're not in a season of chasing. You're in a season of choosing. You're choosing what stays and what finally gets released. Choosing where your energy goes and where it no longer belongs. Choosing not to explain yourself so loudly. Because your alignment is speaking for you now. And that's the shift. You're not forcing things to work anymore. You're waiting to see what meets you where you truly are. In your heart, you already know what's aligned. The relationships that feel calm. The work that gives more than it takes. The spaces where your nervous system can relax without needing to perform. That's the real wealth. That's the true success. And everything else? Noise you're finally learning to walk away from. This isn't a dramatic rebirth. It's a quiet claiming of your time, of your peace, of your truth. And yes, it may mean saying no to something that once felt like everything. But in doing so, you're making space for the things that truly nourish you emotionally, financially, physically, and spiritually. So as this week unfolds, Taurus, I invite you to trust the quiet. Trust the part of you that no longer needs validation to feel whole. Trust the softness you've cultivated after years of holding everything together. And most of all, trust the unfolding because you're not falling behind. You're just moving at the pace of something real. You are not behind schedule. You are not too late. You are exactly where growth begins. Keep showing up for yourself, not loudly, not perfectly, but consistently, because the life you've been slowly, patiently building, it's already on its way to meet you. And it's going to feel like home.